Okay, so this video is about project management as you are preparing for the exams in project management. Okay, so we are going to break down the topics, the most important topics in project management. Remember, it's about management, so you need to know how to manage the time, even the topics, okay, as you are preparing for the exams. Okay, so the major topics that you need to know about project management, first of all, is about planning a project. Okay, planning a project. Okay, so the first essential topic is planning a project. Okay, planning a project. So planning a project involves different things that you need to know. Okay, it involves a project life cycle. You need to know about project life cycle. You need to know about project identification, planning, implementation, and monitoring. Okay, and then you to know also to apply project parameters. You know project parameters, the scope, cost, time, quality, resources, and how they affect the project. Okay, and then you need to know how to about carrying out project scheduling activities like scheduling, project scheduling. You know those activity on arrow, activity on node, those structures and analysis. Okay, way of analyzing the project and planning for time from the beginning to the end, even the end time. Okay, also about the breakdown structure. You need to know about Gantt chart. You need to know about milestone trend charts. Okay, so those things, you look at those things under planning a project. Under planning a project, there is also some different network diagrams, like I said, mentioned earlier. Network diagram, like activity on node, activity on arrow, those stuffs. And then there is also project evaluation and review technique, very important. And also about crashing a project. You have to know how to crash a project or project acceleration. Okay. And it's very important as well in project management. And then number two is developing a project proposal. Number two, the second topic is developing uh, a project proposal. So you need to know about a project proposal. They may ask you can you define a project proposal, the format of a project proposal, characteristics of a good project proposal. So you need to take note of that and research more on that. But we'll look at it in due time before exams as you are preparing for project management. A student who is sitting for project management exams. So about developing a project proposal, we look at analyzing the importance of the project proposal, which may be fundraising, communicating with stakeholders. It may be used as a blueprint to the project implementation as well. Also under developing a project proposal, there's also you need to be able to identify the characteristic of a good project proposal. Like I mentioned earlier, you need to know about detailed objectives. A good project proposal should have detailed objectives. Okay, and it should also the activities must be clearly defined. Okay, Also, collaboration demonstrated, okay? It has to demonstrate collaboration. It has to be consistent in terms of budget. You know, the budget doesn't have to be changing. And the guidelines in harmony with law, it has to also comply with the laws of the country or the area where you're operating from. It's a customary land. Anywhere, if it's in a country where they have set up some different laws, it has to obey the laws, okay? And you should also be able to outline the format of a project proposal. Okay, should it have an introduction, summary, you know, the request, deliverables, responsibility of vendor and customer, you know, project schedule, cost and payment schedule, type of contract, experience and staffing, evaluation criteria. Okay, those things you need to include under project proposal. When you are developing a project proposal, you need to know that you need to include everything. And don't worry if I'm fast, because we will need to summarize everything I've talked about as we are preparing. Okay, this is just an introduction. Okay, number 3, you need to know about managing a project. Okay, managing a project. Number 3, okay, it's about managing a project. Okay, managing a project. So you need to know about analyzing the project scope process, project integration. Okay, so applying concepts of project cost, time, and quality. You know, the cost, time, and the quality management is very important because they affect the outcome of the project. You know, about time, you need to make sure that the project finishes on time and with good quality, okay, and without spending much time. And how can you balance that? That's where now triangular constraint comes in. You know, that triangular constraint, if you have heard of it, we are going to look at it also. Okay, you need to know about project risk management under managing a project, and you need to apply the concepts of project communication management. You need to know about applying the concepts of projects procurement and human resource management. Number 4, you need to know how to analyze the project, analyzing the project. Okay, it's about analyzing the project. Number 4 is analyzing the project. Okay. So now that we have broken down the topics into 4, this will enable you to prepare for exams adequately. Okay. So about analyzing the project, you know, you have to know about analyzing functional structure. You know, different project structures you have to know. There is first of all analyzing functional structure. Okay, it's about analyzing functional structure. About functional structure, you need to know about the definition, advantages, and disadvantages of the functional structure. The second structure you need to analyze is matrix structure. You need to know how to analyze matrix structure, its definition, advantages, and disadvantages of the matrix structure. Okay, and then there is analyzing project-based structure. You have to know about definition, advantage, and disadvantage of project-based structure. Okay, So in the next video, we are going to learn about these different 4 topics. We are going to break it down just in 2 parts so that we finish up before the exams, as you are preparing for the exams. Okay, so you need to know about mostly it's about the calculations, and then I'll send the notes and some questions later. Okay, just follow the other video I'm going to send. Thank you very much, and see you next time. Bye bye.